All right, thank you, Brandon. Good evening, everyone. It is Wednesday, January the 14th, 2026. I now call this regularly scheduled virtual meeting of the Aurora Planning and Zoning Commission to order. I'll now call the roll of commissioners. Commissioner Jecic,
Present.
Commissioner Bush,
Present.
Commissioner Riley,
I am present.
Commissioner Benka,
Present.
Commissioner Hogan,
Present.
and Commissioner Walls is also present. We have established a voting quorum with 6 members present this evening. The Pledge of Allegiance will not be said tonight as this meeting is virtual. We'll move on to the approval of the minutes for December the 10th, 2025. Everyone received a draft of those minutes. You all had an opportunity to read them. Are there any amendments or corrections to the minutes? Commissioner Riley.
Page 6 or 7 of the file you sent us. Brandon's listed as the planning director. I'm assuming he wants to be the planning director, just a minor typo.
Sure, non-substantive. We'll go ahead and make that change without amendment. Any other amendments or corrections to the minutes? Seeing none, the chair moves to approve the minutes as presented without objection. Is there a second? Thank you, Commissioner Riley. It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes as presented without objection. Is there any discussion on the motion to approve? Without discussion, is there any objection? Without objection, the minutes from December the 10th, 2025 will be approved. Tonight we have 9 items of general business across 4 applications, items 8A through I. The chair moves to approve the agenda as presented without objection. Is there a second?
I so second.
Thank you, Commissioner Bush. It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as presented without objection. Is there any discussion on the motion? Without discussion, is there any objection? Without objection, the agenda will be adopted as presented. I'll now read a summary of our policies and procedures for this evening's meeting. Please make sure your home or computer microphone is on mute unless you're speaking. The Planning and Zoning Commission meeting is a quasi-judicial hearing. There is no swearing in of those who will give testimony, but it is presumed that all parties are telling the truth. When addressing the commission as an applicant or their representative, please state your first and last name as well as the organization that you're representing, and you may additionally state if you are an Aurora resident. If you are addressing the commission as a member of the general public for public testimony, please state your first and last name and if you are an Aurora resident. For each agenda item, there will be an initial presentation by city staff. Afterward, commissioners may ask questions of staff. Discussion of agenda items by commissioners will be conducted only following a motion and a second. Following the staff presentation, the applicant or their representative may choose to make a presentation or answer questions. The applicant will have 10 minutes for their presentation. Commissioners may ask questions of the applicant. Members of the public that have signed up to speak will each have 3 minutes to speak on the agenda item during this public comment period. It is asked that only new information be presented. The same arguments should not be repeated. Commissioners may ask questions of the public following their comments. After public comments, the applicant will have 5 minutes to address any public comments. Commissioners may ask questions of the applicant. The chair will ensure all commissioners have no further questions of the applicant or staff. The chair will then call for the question. After a motion has been made and seconded, the commissioners will then discuss the case amongst themselves. After the discussion, the chair will call the question. Commissioners are finders of fact and will vote based on their evaluation of the evidence presented as compared to Code Section 146. All rulings by the Planning and Zoning Commission are normally final. Exceptions are zoning map amendments, zoning code amendments, and comprehensive plan amendments that need City Council approval. Decisions by the Commission can be appealed to City Council by presenting a written appeal to the City Manager within 10 calendar days of the public hearing. City Council also has the discretion to call up any case whether an appeal has been made or not. Notices for this virtual meeting were published, posted to the City website, and the development projects were posted with signs on the properties. Notices were also mailed to adjacent landowners per city requirements. Without consent, we'll move into this evening's first case, which is agenda item 8A, recording for the minutes, commissioner site visits. Let me see if I can expand my cameras here so I can see everyone. Commissioner Riley, Commissioner Jecic, Commissioner Benka, Commissioner Hogan, Commissioner Bush, and Commissioner Walls. Okay, agenda item 8A is the Warren Street Townhomes, a site plan with adjustments located in Ward 4. Our case manager this evening is Rashid Rabah. The applicant is the World Real Estate Development Company. Rashid, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good evening, Commissioners. I am Rashid Rabah, presenting for staff. Tonight for your review is a site plan with 2 adjustments. The applicant, the World Real Estate Development Company, LLC, is requesting approval of a site plan with 2 adjustments for 2 townhome buildings totaling 14 units on 0.71 acres. The subject property is to the northeast corner of South Galena Street and East Warren Avenue. The site is bounded by an animal clinic to the north, self-storage to the east, an ammunition testing facility to the south, and multifamily to the west. The subject property is zoned mixed use, Corridor District MUC in Sub-Area A. The proposed land use single-family attached townhomes is permitted within the City Corridor Place type and Aurora Place Comprehensive Plan. These are images of the site from different streets from South Galena and Warren Street. For adjacent property owners and 13 registered neighborhood organizations were notified. Notice of hearing, board, and mailing were posted and sent. No comment were received during the staff review or following the notice posting for the hearing. A neighborhood meeting was not held. Images of public hearing signs posted on the site. There were 2 issues discussed during the review. One was for the 2 adjustment and the building design. The 2 adjustments are requested for the lot area and the lot frontage. Staff support the 2 adjustment requests for the minimum lot area and the minimum lot frontage for a single-family attached townhomes. The proposal made the adjustment criteria. The reduction to the lot size and the lot frontage does not adverse any effect to the development quality. The second was the applicant worked with the staff to achieve building architect and design that comply with the city code. The entrance to all units in both buildings face the street, and the buildings incorporate a variety of materials, including brick siding, cementous stucco, custom metal panels, and a large black frame aluminum windows. Building elevation feature variety in materials and colors. The building met the design required outlined by the city code. The proposed site plan complies with the code criteria for approval for the following reasons. The proposal is recognized as a second land use within the City Corridor Place type in the Aurora Place Plan, aligned with objective of the mixed-use zoning district, and complies with UDO standard and criteria. There is a capacity with the existing city infrastructure and public improvement, and any burden have been mitigated. The proposal is compatible with surrounding uses and is consistent with existing development patterns in the area. Staff find agenda item 8A for site plan with 2 adjustments meet the approval criteria with the following condition. Resolution of outstanding technical issues prior to recordation of site plan and issuing of any building permit. And with that, I conclude my presentation. I'm here to answer any question you might have. Also, the applicant is present. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Rashid. I'll open the floor for questions from the commission. Okay. And you said the applicant is just available for questions. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Any questions from the commission for the applicant? Okay, seeing none. Stephanie, do we have any members of the public sign up to speak on 8A?
No, Chair, we do not.
Okay, with that, I will close this portion of the public hearing on 8A and entertain a motion.
Chair, I would like to make a motion on agenda item 8A, site plan with 2 adjustments. Based on the staff recommendation, the presentation and discussion at this evening's public hearing, I move to approve with 1 condition, the site plan with 2 adjustments for lot size and lot frontage standards. Because the proposal complies with the requirements of Code Section 146.5, .4, .3, .B, .3, .C of the Unified Development Ordinance for the reasons stated in the staff report. Approval is subject to the following conditions. 1, and that is the resolution of outstanding technical issues prior to recordation of the site plan and the issuance of the building permits.
Great, thank you, Commissioner Bush. It's been moved to approve agenda item 8A. Is there a second? Commissioner Benka, thank you very much. It's been moved and seconded to approve 8A. I'll open the floor for discussion. I'll just add for the record, I appreciate, Rashid, your package that you put together for this particular agenda item. It was easy to understand. I think with a lack of questions from the commission, that stands for itself. I appreciate everything was clearly laid out, and I think this will be a great addition to Ward 4. Thank you very much. I support this motion. Further discussion on the adoption of 8A. Without discussion, I'll call the roll. Commissioner Juchik?
Approve.
Commissioner Bush?
I approve.
Commissioner Riley?
I approve.
Commissioner Benka?
I approve.
Commissioner Hogan?
Approve.
And Commissioner Walls also votes to approve. That's 6 votes to approve. Agenda item 8A is approved.
Thank you.
Okay, next agenda item. This will be a joint presentation covering items B through D. Agenda item 8B, C, and D, which is the Windler Neighborhood C Masonry Adjustment Major Site Plan, is the first item. I'll record for the minutes commissioner site visits to the Windler Neighborhood Project. Commissioner Riley, Commissioner Juchik, Commissioner Benka, Commissioner Bush, Commissioner Hogan, and Commissioner Walls. Okay, starting with the joint presentation on the Windler Neighborhood C Masonry Adjustment. Our case manager this evening is Connor Bailey. Connor, the floor is yours. Connor, you're muted.
Apologize for that. Thank you so much. Let me go back to sharing real quick. Okay, I want to make sure you're able to see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. As I was saying, good evening, commissioners. My name is Connor Bailey, and I will be presenting for staff tonight regarding the Windler Masonry Adjustments, the Major Adjustments application. So getting into the request, the applicant GVP Windler LLC is requesting major adjustments to allow masonry for single-family attached housing types to be below the 50% required minimum for the 3 separate approved site plans in the Windler development. These 3 approved site plans include Windler Neighborhood C, Neighborhood P Phase 3 PA 25, and Midtown. All 3 neighborhoods have a current zoning designation of medium density residential, the R2. Windler Neighborhood C has a Aurora Comprehensive Plan place type of emerging neighborhood, while Neighborhood P and Midtown have a mix between emerging neighborhood and city corridor. As seen in the vicinity map, the Windler development is found in Northeast Aurora at the intersection of E470 and East 48th Avenue. The boundaries of the Windler development are shown in red on the vicinity map. Both Neighborhood C and Midtown are located east of E470 between East 56th Avenue and East 48th Avenue, while Neighborhood P is located west of E470 and south of East 48th Avenue.
Hey, Connor. This is
Yes.
Brandon. Are your slides moving forward? They're not moving forward for me. I don't know if they're moving forward for the commission.
They are not.
They are
Okay.
not?
No.
Let me do this real quick. Okay, let me just test. Are they moving forward?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
awesome. Okay, apologize for that. Thank you so much. Let me go to the vicinity map here. So again, as said, that the One Lure development is found in Northeast Aurora at the intersection of E470 and East 48th Avenue. The boundaries of the One Lure development are shown in red. Both neighborhood C and Midtown are located within east. They're located east of E470 between East 56th Avenue and East 48th Avenue, while neighborhood P is located west of E470 and south of East 48th Avenue. As shown here in the aerial map, you can see aerials for all three of the One Lure neighborhoods. The aerials are from late September of 2025. One Lure's neighborhood C currently has single-family residential under construction, while neighborhood P and Midtown are undergoing land clearing and land development. The One Lure development is surrounded by a mix of master plan developments ranging from light industrial to residential uses. Fallen Winder is located to the north, Sun Empire to the east, Aurora Highlands to the south, and Green Valley Ranch east to the west. As previously discussed, all three One Lure neighborhoods have a current zoning designation of medium density residential, the R2. The surrounding areas include a mix similar to medium density residential, mixed use airport, the MUA, and airport district, AD. Please note the surrounding areas are mostly vacant and are planned for development. I just want to kind of get into the requested adjustments only apply to the single family attached housing types, which that includes the single family attached green courts, 2-story and 3-story townhouses proposed within the three One Lure neighborhoods. All three neighborhoods are designed to provide a variety of housing types. As currently approved, there are 222 single family attached units of the total 1,173 units approved within all three neighborhoods. As seen on this slide, the breakdown of single family attached per neighborhood is detailed. All the single family attached housing types represent approximately 37% in neighborhood C, 12% in Midtown, and 15% in neighborhood P. So the major issues that were discussed during the development review included the following. One, the clarification of the masonry mitigation percentages and point system, the One Lure design review requirements and process for masonry mitigation, and 3, the provision of detailed examples within the mitigation framework. So getting into the mitigation design framework and what was resolved in the review process. So the applicant is proposing to reduce or eliminate the minimum masonry requirements based on mitigating design measures above and beyond the architectural design requirements of the code. Additional design elements include window variations, changing and massing entry features that project out from the building, distinct colors for the building and character styles and architectural character styles as well. Specific townhouse features that enhance architectural detail and community design have been assigned point values, similar to what we have in our UDO table for .8-2 for single-family detached homes. As you see in this table, a system of 5 brackets or ranges are provided for masonry below the required 50% for single-family attached or townhouses. The bracket with the least reduction is 49% to 40% and requires 4 mitigation points, while the bracket with the highest reduction is 9% to 0% and requires 8 mitigation points. The remaining brackets in between are categorized in increments of 10 and increase 1 mitigation point as each bracket gets closer to the highest reduction bracket. Please note that the One Lure design guidelines are still applicable for every mitigation bracket. During the review process, staff worked closely with the applicant to ensure clarification on the masonry mitigation percentage brackets and that the mitigation points that were associated with them. Revisions were made to clarify that there was no overlap in rounding or up or down to certain brackets, and a summary table was provided linking the mitigation points to the specific mitigation brackets. Moving on to the second item, throughout the review process, staff worked with the applicant, the master developer, to develop the requirements and processing of the masonry mitigation. Masonry mitigation is only allowed through the Wendler design review process, including pre-design review and design submittals, and then requiring a certificate of approval by the design and review committee. And then moving on, staff also coordinated with the applicant during the review process regarding the example exhibits provided in the mitigation framework. These example exhibits were included in the framework to better illustrate the different types of scenarios that could be applied in separate neighborhoods. As you see with this example right here, we have a townhouse with 50% masonry and how that compares to a townhouse with 0% masonry. And then it's requesting 8 mitigation points for that reduction, which is being mitigated with additional window and entry articulation. As you see here, that's detailed by including a 2-story porch and a 1.5-foot bay for 100% of the units, and then using window articulation for 69% of the windows. Another example that you see here illustrates townhouses with 15% masonry and is requesting 7 mitigation points, which that is being mitigated by additional character styles and entry articulation. In this example, it's including 3 different character styles for the townhouses, and then including that 1.5-foot bay for 100% of the units. So getting into the community response, 50 adjacent property owners and 6 registered neighborhood organizations were notified. No comments were received during the review of the application, therefore no neighborhood meeting was held. Legal notice appeared in the Aurora Sentinel on January 1st, 2026. The applicant submitted verification of the mailing and public hearing notices to adjacent property owners and the neighborhood organizations. 6 public notice signs were posted in total for the 3 subject sites, and no comments were received during the DA review process. So the major adjustment approval criteria that is found within section 146-5.4.4.d.3 of the Unified Development Ordinance. That includes first that the major adjustment will have no material adverse impact on the budding lot or material adverse impacts, since mitigation will be provided by the applicant. In this, the mitigation framework provided by the applicant does provide additional architectural details, including window variations, changing in massing, entry features that project out from the building, including stoops and porches, distinct colors for character styles, and architectural character styles that enhance the community and streetscape design and makes up for the reduction in masonry. I do want to also point out that the requested adjustments only apply to single-family attached housing types proposed within the 3 Wendler neighborhoods, and then all 3 neighborhoods are designed to provide that variation of housing types. So with that is only applying to 222 units out of the 1,173. Therefore, the adjustment is specific to a certain number of units in each of the neighborhood and will not have an adverse impact to the majority of units within each neighborhood. Second, the adjustment does not violate any conditions of approval specifically applied to the development of the property by the Planning and Zoning Commissions or City Council. And then third, the adjustment will result in a perception of development quality as viewed from adjacent streets and abutting lots that is equal to or better than would have been required without the adjustments. The mitigation framework provided by the applicant includes architectural details and community design enhancements that are above UDO requirements and above current Wendler design guideline requirements. In summary, the applicant meets all 3 approval criteria for the major adjustments. With that, staff recommends approval for the following 3 major adjustments. Approve the major adjustment request for single-family attached masonry requirements within Wendler Neighborhood C for Agenda Item 8B, Wendler Neighborhood P Phase 3 PA 25 for agenda item 8C, and One Larry Midtown with agenda item 8D. All with that because the proposal complies with the requirements of section 146-5.4.4.d.3 of the Unified Development Ordinance. With that concludes staff's presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions if there are any. If not, we can move on to the applicant's presentation.
Great. Thank you so much, Connor. You guys are starting 2026 off with a bang, Rashid
Yeah.
and you. I appreciate the graphics in your slideshow. Stepping it up a notch this year. I appreciate that. I'll
I
open the floor
appreciate
for comments from the commission or questions. Commissioner Riley.
Thank you. An education point for me, when you talk about mitigation points, from your excellent briefing, I understand that is a change in architectural features. By removing the masonry, windows stand out better, porches stand out better. I just want to confirm that because that's the first time I've been in a hearing where that language has come up.
And that is correct, Commissioner Riley. Essentially, with there being the reduction in masonry, is there are additional architectural features that are being provided to make up for that reduction in masonry. So that is everything with different window treatments, and that's a percentage of window treatments that is being applied. That is with entry articulation, so stoops and porches. That's also with massing, the bays that I kind of talked about, and then the difference in adding additional architectural styles and then color palettes with those architectural styles.
And the other question I had on page 53, they gave the reasons for why this is being done. The term in there was called city in transition. I don't know that term. Can you explain that one?
Is with city in transition, I know that as with that thinking is with city in transition is I know what it comes when we're coming into our emerging neighborhoods that here we're providing different architectural styles that are going to apply. It allows for more of that flexibility that's going to happen with our emerging neighborhoods. So it's something that we've kind of find within our sub area C, if that makes any sense.
It does. New term for me. Thank you very
Yep.
much for clarifying.
No, of course. And I appreciate you on that, Commissioner Riley.
Further questions from the commission for staff? Okay, seeing none, we will move on to the applicant presentation. You will have 10 minutes to present. Please state your name, and you may optionally state whether you're an Aurora resident or not.
Hello, Commissioners. Christopher Fellows, 9155 East Nichols Avenue, Suite 360, Centennial, Colorado. Happy New Year. Nice to see all of you. Thank you for the time this evening. Appreciate getting to see you again. I don't think I've bugged Commissioner Riley before, but we'll get him tonight and get going. So hello and welcome. Thank you for having us. I think we have a few slides up. Connor, thanks for doing a nice job on the presentation, and thank you to staff for helping us get to this point this evening. And Connor, if you have our presentation, I think you do, to put up.
Yeah, let me pull that up real quick.
Please. And we'll go quickly, and I'm going to turn you over quickly to Kevin Yoshida, who's led this for us and is a professional licensed architect and does a remarkable job on our projects and helps us. And we'll let you talk to Kevin here in just a second, which will probably be more enjoyable for everybody. But I'll bug you with a couple comments first. And as Connor is pulling this up, one of the things leading the charge this evening is there are some products that we think are really important in communities to have the right kind of mixing of product types and the right kind of fabric and to get to the end results that we all want. We think diverse product types help communities look better. We think townhomes are an important part of that. And as I'm sure you all know, townhomes are becoming harder and harder and harder to deliver to the market. Insurance requirements, building requirements, code requirements are all driving price points of townhomes to the point where they're becoming hard to deliver. And a big part of what's driving us here is We think we have some ways to deliver high quality outcomes at more affordable pricing to make housing more attainable and preserve the mix of townhomes in an overall mix of the project. Connor, are you having any luck on the shots?
I want to make sure, is everyone able to see my screen? Because I think I am sharing it.
We're seeing your previous presentation, Connor, your staff presentation.
Okay, then let me make sure that's all closed out. It might just be conflicting.
And Chris, I will add some more time on there.
Thank you, Chair. I was just going to tease about that, but thank you. I'll try not to use it.
No worries.
I was pleased to see that a number of you got to take a field trip out in the community. I was going to suggest that was done. So I really, really appreciate that you've all done that. I hope that you were pleased and impressed with what's going on there. We're really, really proud of what's happening out there and really tickled on how the community's coming about. So I hope you were similarly impressed in your tour. And we can go to, there it is, Connor, thank you. We can go to the next screen. This is just an aerial view to show you just from another angle what Connor already presented in his presentation of the Windler community, kind of a fun angle, and we can skip ahead, Connor. And this, for those of you that were able to make the field trip, the project, the big project on the right is Discovery Park, which is, other than the swimming pool and community building, Discovery Park is now completed. We're absolutely ecstatic about how the park came out. We, unfortunately, I think it's going to replace, I'm a little biased, but I think it's going to replace High Prairie Park at Painted Prairie and become the best park in the city of Aurora. But we're thrilled with the park and how it came out and really tickled. And we think 1881 is also going to become a real cherished project within the city. Go ahead, please, Connor. This just shows you the neighborhoods. Connor already hit this and did a nice job, so we can skip ahead again. And this is a graphic that we thought would help make a point of what we're talking about. I was around when the masonry requirement came to Aurora. In the words of Tom Raganetti, Aurora had a pretty big problem and they needed a broad axe solution to solve a pretty big problem. Since that time, we've had almost 30 years really to evolve, and tools and techniques in our trade have advanced. And I think we can now get better outcomes by using some scalpel approaches rather than the broad axe. So here's an example where we think masonry, which can be valuable, doesn't always equal better design and isn't always needed to have better design. There are all the other tools that Connor mentioned earlier, but in the upper left-hand, pretty darn cool project, 100% masonry. But right next to it, to the right, and I'm pretty sure that's the Painted Ladies in San Francisco, a really, really cool project that I think we'd all be thrilled to have in the city of Aurora. And it's accomplished by using great architectural detail and fenestration and design and great windows and great articulation and great color, but doesn't have any masonry at all yet. I think I would hope that all of the commission would love to have that in the city. I'd be thrilled to have that in my project. The lower left shows an example of a townhome project that exists in Aurora and has met the masonry requirements. To the right of that is a project in the Front Range of Colorado that has no masonry on it. And yet I think the style and design of the project on the lower right at least equals, if doesn't surpass, the one on the lower left. So an example of where architectural style and design, I think, can be better tools when used properly than just the broad axe solution of the masonry. I think you all know, Commission, that we have a real crisis in affordability and attainability in housing. And with a few products, like I mentioned, townhomes, we're really, really worried that we might lose that product type totally across all segments because of pricing and costs. So we are seeking to find some high quality but more affordable solutions that still lead to great high quality outcomes. I hope you know from our background and reputation and track record in the city, we are not trying to solve for the lowest common denominator. We're trying to solve for building great communities with great homes for the future citizens in Aurora. We're not trying to cut corners. We're trying to come up with great outcomes. We believe this request tonight helps do that, helps continue forward, and would appreciate your support with that. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Kevin Yoshida. As I mentioned, Kevin leads our architectural efforts and our design review committee efforts and is an incredibly talented, capable professional. And Kevin, I'm honored to get to work with you. I appreciate it that you still put up with me. And ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Yoshida with Ideate Design.
Well, thank you very much, Chris. Just for Kevin Yoshida, Ideate Design. Kudos to the development team and Chris as well. We talk a lot about the bold strokes that Chris talked about building good communities and investing in parks first, and these granular things about what are the increments that make great neighborhoods. And Chris did a great job of explaining kind of how we really get down in the weeds, thinking about the toolkit that we need to provide as a development team to open up conversations to help get our builder partners building towards the same vision that we want. Connor, if you could advance the slide. So this is an example that Connor built out for you. Again, it's an example of our process. I bring it back not only to the dialogue we had with city staff, but internally gut checking the bottom row of what the UDO and what our base guidelines achieved, and some of the other things that parts of the tools that we'd like to add to the toolkit. Better window details, pedestrian oriented things like porches, texture and color at the pedestrian level that we think can help townhomes integrate better and achieve broad city goals, as well as granular ones in terms of achieving better pricing and better attainability for our offerings to the marketplace. Connor, advance the slide, please. This is another example. So we, like I mentioned, we're always studying these issues and how to be adaptive and better stewards of where we're headed. This is a study that was not included in your packet, but is built on those same examples that Connor showed you. So this is a townhome product that has 3 styles on the column on the left in red and white there. But the component of color plays a huge role in those. So developing color schemes that are appropriate to those architectural styles, 3 of those color styles for each of them. We're hoping that this toolkit creates the underpinnings to create this kind of texture in the community where you drive it, you feel like you're in a neighborhood where individuality still plays a role, and like I say, is a background for the community building and all the other things that the soft stuff, if you will, that developers look to achieve. We can invest in the infrastructure and in the parks, but setting up the stage for a community to thrive is really where Chris and I spend a lot of our time talking. Last slide, Connor, please. Just a summary slide here of what we think these mitigation points provide, which is the possibility to improve community design through things other than the masonry tool, adding architectural fields that aren't necessarily acknowledged by the UDO, but we can champion as a design review committee and development team. We think it addresses both the immediacy of maintaining attainability, as Mr. Fellows mentioned, and to one of the questions that the comprehensive goal, I included that in my letter. The city in transition is some of the formative language that was included in that comp plan that I was just reflecting back that we take very seriously. Again, that some of these situational concerns that come up over the course of a big 15-year idea like a comp plan, that recalibrating is really the stage where we want to be your partner and help move that vision forward. And yeah, it maybe addresses some of the UDO metrics, and at least the way our boots on the ground have been seeing it, some tools that we think our builder partners could help take advantage of and build out the vision for Windmiller and achieve the goals for the city. Anything else to add, Chris, before we close?
No, Kevin, thank you. You did a great job. I appreciate it. Thank you, Chairman Wells. I think that's our presentation concluded. Thank you for the time.
You bet. Thank you, guys. And Happy New Year to you as well, Chris. I'll open the floor for questions from the commission for the applicant. Commissioner Bush, go ahead.
Yes, excellent presentation and well covered. But I just wanted to bring up one point that maybe the listeners might not quite understand. We're talking visual. The difference between the old masonry and non-masonry just frame, and with reference to safety and fire, no longer exists. The same material that looks like masonry is the same material that looks like other kinds of fabric in a house, but we still have the same safety standards. So I just wanted to reiterate that the same safety standards with reference to masonry and the lower percentage of masonry is still there.
Great,
That's
thank
my
you.
only
Thank you,
comment.
Commissioner Bush. I may have missed it in the packet, Chris, but what was your percentage of masonry and what is the adjustment that we're looking at?
Well, it will, Commissioner Walls, it will depend on the actual project that comes through if this is approved by the commission this evening. So in order to achieve the lower masonry standards, the builders that we work with will have to be offering some of these additional mitigations, and we'll have to wait and see as those come through. And then what we do is we run that through our Architectural Control Committee that Kevin leads. And I would tell you he does a perfect job. Some of the builders think he's a little tough on them, but he's protecting us and our investment in our community and the city's future community. So once the builder gets through that, then if they got approval from the DRC, that package would go on with an application to the city, and it would have all the metrics and the tables showing that they complied with the mitigations. So it will vary as we go forward with the projects.
Just to add on, if I can, the proposal here, because we're the developer, is a framework so that we can start to work with builders within boundaries that we've worked through with on city staff on how mitigation and then how much lower masonry could be. So there's brackets that go in 9 or 10 point increments down from 50. And then you have to achieve greater mitigation points depending on how low the masonry request is.
Chairman Walls, we had just by way of example, we had a builder at Painted Prairie in the town center that came to us that wanted to do some townhomes, and they said, hey, we'd like to do this project, but we'd like to come in with a lower masonry percentage and present that to the city. So with Kevin's help, we said back to them, okay, what are you offering to mitigate that? We understand that, the brick in the alley in the garage that can't be seen from the street doesn't have a lot of value, but what are you offering in addition to mitigate? And they said, well, we aren't offering anything. We just don't want to do the masonry. And Kevin and I both said, well, we're not going to present that. We're not taking that to our friends at the city and our friends at staff and the planning commission and asking them to support that. So that those kind of things wouldn't make it through. But now if you approve this at our request this evening, we'll have a fixed framework that people will have to operate under, and they'll have to meet the point system. And then we can present that to staff and move forward. So that's how it'll happen.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you. This is the first time we're seeing this sort of matrix and framework for the mitigation, and I think it makes infinite sense. It made it really clear to me, kind of, if you have this is what's required, and it creates, I think, a better look overall for the development. So I appreciate that. Thanks for answering the question. Commissioner Hogan?
Yes, sir.
Either Chris or Kevin, my question has to do with the long-term maintenance of these homes. The one thing that brick did provide is a little more structure. It provided a look that didn't require quite as much long-term maintenance because frankly, people just didn't have to paint that much of their house. What does this mean long-term for the viability of the homes? Because wind, the outdoor elements can weather materials pretty quickly out there.
I'll give a quick answer, Commissioner, and then Kevin can add on if he would like. In the very, very long run, I think there will be a little more cost and maintenance of this kind of an approach. Like some of those really cool, vibrant colors, which I love. Those are particularly appealing to me in the community. That will take a little more maintenance than, let's just say for fun, a plain gray brick
Right.
or faux brick, right? So that is true. On the other hand, where we're really struggling as a development community and as an economic together right now is the masonry adds a lot of cost up front. And it's kind of like the purpose of a mortgage. You get to pay for the cost of the home over time rather than if everybody had to write a check for the house day one. Well, there may be a little more cost and maintenance long term, but we're looking for high quality methods to help reduce the cost up front without hurting the community. So hopefully the trade-off is a little less expense today for a little maintenance ongoing. And we believe, Commissioner Hogan, and obviously we have tens of millions of dollars of real estate left to develop at Windler. If we thought this would hurt the community in any way, we wouldn't propose it. We think it's a boost and a lift to the long-term outcome.
Yeah, it's a astute question. I would just add to that the master plan context of this. So there are layers of maintenance requirements and sub-agreements between either homeowners or sub-HOAs that the exterior be maintained to a certain standard. So rather, as opposed to an infill context where you might be considering this, I'd ask you to also consider the master plan context and the layers of management agreements that exist.
Commissioner Hogan, did you have a follow-up question in the same vein or a separate question?
I did. So thank you, Kevin, for responding to that because that was a follow-up question. If this is going to require more maintenance, what do you have baked in to the process to ensure that it is done by a homeowner? So thank you, Kevin, for responding.
Commissioner Riley?
Thank you. So, couple comments and a question. I am very, very deliberate in ensuring that the UDO 537, the posted notices, are adhered to. And when I inspected your site, I was on my mountain bike going up Tibet, crossing over 48, riding around in the construction site, looking at everything. And I was quite impressed that you used 4x4s to mount your posts and then decorate them with landscaping rock. It just added a very professional atmosphere to the whole development. I was very impressed. I do like your park very, very much. Is that park going to be connected to the Aurora Parkway system, or is that going to be independent for your community?
Colonel, it's the park will be connected through bikeways and pathways and pedestrian connections. So it's going to be easily accessible for people that live outside of Windler to get there and connect to it. Also, we have numerous connections within the community for people to be able to access the entire park network, and where I think we have like 30 miles of paved trails that we'll have at the end of the day. So it's all interconnected that way.
All right. And the last comment I want to make with your partners from Oakwood doing GVRE, I think their mix of homes and your mix of homes are making that whole area in the 470 corridor very nice. I appreciate it because I live right near there, and I'm kind of happy to see the mix of homes that you discussed, which is why I had the question about mitigation points and the city in transition, just for my own familiarity. But thank you very much. That's all I had.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Further questions from the commission for the applicant? Okay, seeing none. Stephanie, do we have any members of the public sign up to speak on 8B, C, or D?
No, Chair, we do not.
Okay, at this time, I'll close this portion of the public hearing and first entertain a motion on 8B, which is the neighborhood C masonry adjustment, which is the major site plan adjustment.
Chair Walls, I'm
Yes,
happy to
Commissioner.
introduce agenda item 8B. Based upon the staff recommendation, the presentation and discussion at this evening's public hearing, I move to approve the major adjustment request for single-family attached masonry requirements within Windler Neighborhood C, because the proposal complies with the requirements of Section 146-5.4.4.D.3 of the Unified Development Ordinance, for the reasons stated in this staff report.
Great, thank you, Commissioner Hogan. It's been moved to approve agenda item 8B. Is there a second? Commissioner Jacek. Thank you very much, Commissioner Jacek. It's been moved to approve agenda item 8B. I'll open the floor for discussion on approval. I'd first like to start off by saying, and my comments will be recorded for 8B, C, and D on those forthcoming motions. I think this is a phenomenal project in front of us, this application. I'm really impressed with the mitigation matrix. It's the first time I've seen something like that, something before the commission like this. And I think it's a really unique way to meet and balance affordable housing, bringing down the cost of construction while still keeping the level and quality of construction high, while also providing a really nice view of a community and the different variegation between the home types. This is going to be a really, I can't wait for it to be built. This is going to be a phenomenal community and just an addition to what Windler already is. So I fully support 8B. Further discussion on the adoption of 8B? Seeing none, I'll call the roll. Commissioner Jecic,
Approve.
Commissioner Bush,
I approve.
Commissioner Riley,
I approve.
Commissioner Benka,
Approve.
Commissioner Hogan,
Approve.
and Commissioner Walls also votes to approve. 8B is approved with 6 votes. I'll now entertain a motion for 8C, which is the Neighborhood P Phase 3 PA 25 major site plan adjustment.
This is Commissioner Jecic. With regard to agenda item 8C, based on staff recommendation, the presentation and discussion at this evening's public hearing, I move to approve the major adjustment request for single-family attached masonry requirement within the Windler Neighborhood P Phase 3 PA-25 because the proposal complies with the requirement of section 146-5.4.4.D.3 of the Unified Development Ordinance for the reasons stated in the staff report.
Thank you, Commissioner Jecic. It's been moved to approve agenda item 8C. Is there a second? Thank you, Commissioner Riley. It's been moved and seconded to approve agenda item 8C. I'll open the floor for discussion. Without discussion, I'll call the roll. Commissioner Jecic,
Approve.
Commissioner Bush,
I approve.
Commissioner Riley,
I approve.
Commissioner Benka,
Approve.
Commissioner Hogan,
Approve.
and Commissioner Walls also votes to approve. Agenda item 8C is approved with 6 votes. I'll now entertain a motion on agenda item 8D, which is the, D is the Midtown Masonry Adjustment, the major site plan adjustment. Okay, on agenda item 8D, the Windler Midtown Masonry Adjustment Major Site Plan Adjustment, the chair raises to a motion based on the staff recommendation, the presentation and discussion at this evening's public hearing. I move to approve the major adjustment request for single-family attached masonry requirements within the Windler Midtown because the proposal complies with the requirements of section 146-5.4.4.D.3 of the UDO for the reasons stated in the staff report. The chair has moved to approve agenda item 8D. Is there a second? Commissioner Riley, thank you. It's been moved and seconded on 8D approval. I'll open the floor for discussion. Seeing no discussion, I'll call the roll. Commissioner Jecic,
Approve.
Commissioner Bush,
Approve.
Commissioner Riley,
I approve.
Commissioner Benka,
Approve.
Commissioner Hogan,
Approve.
and Commissioner Walls also votes to approve. Agenda item 8D has been approved. Thank you guys for the presentation. Connor, great job as well. And also, Chris, we may call on you to do some classes on posting. Again, like Colonel Riley said, that was phenomenal. It was very easy to find, and you guys made it look nice. So that's definitely not lost on us. I think you have a pretty committed commission this term, and we all try and do as many site visits as we can. And that made it super easy as a commissioner to see the posting, recognize the site, and tour around and drive around a bit. So thank you.
Chairman Walls, thank you. Thank the whole commission. Appreciate your time. Thank you for the comments, and thank you again to staff who did a great job working with us. So appreciate the time tonight. Have a great rest of your evening, and thank you again.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, we are now moving on to agenda item 8E, F, and G, which is the Quick Trip 4217. First recording for the minutes, Commissioner site visits, Commissioner Jecic, Riley, Benka, Bush, Hogan, and Walls. And before we start with the staff presentation, our case manager this evening is Ani Karabashi and the applicant is Quick Trip Corporation. I wanted to find out from the commissioners. I visited the site today and had some issues with the posting on the property. The sign was not posted and it was completely absent when I visited the property today. And I wanted to, it's my intention to move to delay this agenda item till our next scheduled meeting based on our posting requirements. So I wanted to get feedback from the rest of the commission. Were you able to verify sign postings at the site? Go ahead and you can speak. Commissioner Riley, yeah, you're muted.
I went there 3 different times, just benefit of the doubt. Walked right up to the sign and noted that it does not comply with 537 in 2 aspects. That's a May 25 sign, which means it's well past its 10 days from having been pulled down. In my opinion, I don't think the developer has paid attention to detail, and I would concur that the public was not properly notified, and therefore we should not move forward on this particular issue this evening.
Okay, Commissioner Banka.
I agree. And there was a sign at about 35th and Chambers. Is that, I didn't look at the date on that. Is that the May date? But there was one at 35th. You know, I just don't see where a Quick Trip could even go in at 38th and Chambers.
Or 35th, you mean, or 38th?
Well, at 38th, I didn't see where you could put one. That's the corner that is the on-ramp. And that's the location that's in our packet. But 35th, there was a sign, but I didn't look at the date on it. Is that the one that Commissioner Riley's talking about?
I'm not sure if the sign that you saw was the same one. I'm assuming that it is.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm not sure.
It's in that open field. It's bowed. It's about 15 feet off the sidewalk. So you probably saw it. It was right after 35th. And you're right. The packet said 38th. I drove around to Helena and back around, got out of the car. I got a picture of it. So I'm just, attention to detail is lacking here.
Okay, I think I've heard enough to be able to make the motion, and then if there's further discussion or observations, we can do that post motion to the motion. So I move to delay agenda items 8E, F, and G to a date certain, that date being our next regularly scheduled meeting, which I believe, and staff help me, I think is the 28th. That should provide adequate time for proper notice on the property. Just double checking that date. Okay, perfect. Moving to the 28th. The chair has moved to delay 8E, F, and G till the 28th due to improper notice. Is there a second? And I actually see, I'll take the second, Colonel Riley. You'll be noted as a second, but I see that Lena has her hand up. So go ahead, Lena.
Yes, Chair, I just want to, before you set that date, I just want to make sure that we confirm with the applicant and their team that they would be able to attend that meeting in case we need to pick a different meeting date.
Okay, I would be willing to, as long as you think it's allowable, to say the 28th or the next regularly scheduled meeting that meets the requirements of the applicant.
Yes.
Does that work? Okay. Colonel Riley, since you seconded, are you okay with that friendly amendment?
Very much so.
Okay, I will open the floor for discussion on the motion. Were there any other observations or anything noted? Commissioner Hogan, go ahead.
A question, perhaps for the applicant, is there any adverse consequence in delaying this for 2 weeks? I think Mr. Foster or...
Yeah. Hi, can you all hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Good evening, commissioners. My name is Amelia Stefan, and I'm Quick Trip's attorney representative, 360 South Garfield Street in Denver. First of all, I would like to apologize for the improper noticing. As you know, we were here last May for that ISP, and I think there was probably some confusion about the sign being posted on the site. the next regularly scheduled meeting should work for the applicant, or even further out if that needs to be scheduled as such. Again, I apologize, and we're happy to reschedule to ensure that the public has notice. And also, we have not received any public comment on this item.
Thank you, Amelia. Does that answer your question, Commissioner Hogan?
Yes, I do have a follow-up question, a little more directed to staff. May I ask that, please?
Yes, go ahead.
There were some little things, but important things in the actual staff memo on this particular item. For instance, you have the applicant is the city of Aurora. I believe the applicant is Quick Trip. You've got in both the letter from the engineer, and I'm not harping on the engineers because they usually see to this level of detail, but you have called out the southwest corner of Chambers and 38th. So there were just a number of little things in this application. So I would ask that when this comes back, that it's reviewed and cleaned up a bit.
Yes, I appreciate the feedback. I think you're referencing the letter of introduction that was sent to us by the applicant, that it said the southwest quarter. So I'll make sure that the applicant adjusts that. Everything else, I believe, says the southeast corner, but we'll look at everything thoroughly and make sure that, you know, all the details are in order.
Thank you.
Further comments, questions, concerns on the motion to delay? Okay, seeing none, I'll call the roll. Commissioner Jacek?
Approve.
Commissioner Bush?
Approve.
Commissioner Riley?
I approve.
Commissioner Benka?
Approve.
Commissioner Hogan?
I approve the delay, correct?
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay,
That's
just making sure.
correct.
Thank
And
you.
Commissioner Walls also votes to approve. So we will delay E, F, and G till our next regularly scheduled meeting or the meeting time that works for the applicant. Okay, moving on to agenda item 8H/I. This will be a joint presentation, which is the all-in-one Harmony Commercial. We'll start with site visits by the commission. We've got Jacek, Riley, Benka, Bush, Hogan, and Walls. Okay. Agenda items 8H and I, all-in-one Harmony Commercial, which is a conditional use and a site plan for a motor vehicle fueling station. And our case manager again is Ani Karabashian, applicant Nix Investments. Ani, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Commissioner Walls. Good evening, commissioners. The proposal for this project is one conditional use for a motor vehicle fuel dispensing station in mixed use corridor zone district and a site plan. The location is the southeast corner of East Alameda Avenue and South Powhatan Road. The applicant is Nix Investments LLC and the consultant is Vignette Studios LLC. The zoning is Administrative Activity Center, Sub-Area C, and the place type is Commercial Hub. In regards to the vicinity and aerial map, the project site location is highlighted by the white square on the screen. The project is located on the southeastern corner at the intersection of South Powhatan Road and East Alameda Avenue. The project site is zoned Administrative Activity Center, which is a commercial mixed-use zoning. Any land within an administrative activity center must follow the standards applicable to the MUC zone district. The surrounding area around the project site is zoned medium density residential zone district R2 with single family dwellings north of the site as part of the Harmony and Adonia neighborhoods. There's undeveloped land to the south and east of the site that are associated with Harmony Site Plan number 4, and west of the site across South Powhatan Road is vacant land designated as an administrative activity center in the Parklands Master Plan. And in addition, the project site is designated as a commercial hub place type from the comprehensive plan, which the proposed commercial land uses are considered a primary land use. So the project site is part of also the Harmony Commercial Master Plan, which was approved by the city. The project site is in Planning Area 1, which is highlighted by the blue box in the master plan, which is designated as an area for commercial development. This is two views of the site from Alameda Avenue. The first photo, you're facing west, and the second photo, you're facing south into the site. The site photo is this site photo is at the corner of Powhatan and Alameda, facing north on Powhatan Road. And then in terms of community response, 9 adjacent property owners and 6 registered neighborhood organizations were notified. Public comments are received during development review. A neighborhood meeting was held on September 23rd, 2025, and then a notice of hearing boards and mailings were posted and sent. These items listed here were issues discussed during the development review. In terms of context and surrounding area, there are existing residential neighborhoods that I mentioned within the surrounding area, including Harmony, Adonia, Traditions. In addition, I just wanted to highlight that the closest school is a half-mile north of the project site, which is about 2,300 feet. For context, the code requires that motor vehicle fuel dispensing stations cannot be located within 500 feet of a school. And then in terms of the closest commercial development, that is approximately a little bit over 2 miles northwest of the project site near E470 and East 6 Parkway and North Gun Club Road. The commercial businesses that are there are 2 gas stations with a convenience store, and both of these businesses are 24-hour operations. And then the closest liquor store in the area is probably around it's just under 2.5 miles from this project, which is about 13,000 feet. For context, the code requires that retail liquor stores be separated by 1,500 feet in distance. And then this is just an overview of the proposal with the site plan on the left and the building elevations and gas canopy on the right. This is just a general overview of the proposal, which includes 1 multi-tenant building with 3 tenant spaces with 1 fuel canopy and a patio area. The fuel canopy is located behind the building screening the fuel pump canopy from the northern residential uses, and also complies with code requirements regarding the placement of a fuel canopy. The proposed building is double fronted and can be entered by the north and south and meets the building design requirements for single-story commercial buildings. The overall design of the project complies with the use-specific standards for motor vehicle fueling station. The public improvements include road and sidewalk improvements on all sides of the site. The right-of-way improvements are in compliance with the Harmony Commercial Master Plan Public Improvements Plan. And then this is just an overview of neighborhood comments and concerns that were brought up during the project. 57 comments were submitted during development review and a petition with 512 signatures, and 25 comments in addition were submitted to the city during the development review process. Below is a summary of the general concerns expressed by residents during the development review and the neighborhood meeting which was held. So in terms of hours of operation, while the applicant did change the gas station and convenience store hours from 24 hours to 4 a.m. to 12 a.m. based on public comments submitted, residents did have continued concerns about the hours of operation conflicting with their neighborhood's quiet hours starting at 10 p.m. Residents expressed concern about the updated hours of operation not being satisfactory and concerns around safety in relation to the proposed hours of operation and its potential to draw individuals to the area during later hours at night. In terms of types of businesses proposed, residents expressed dislike for the project's proposed commercial land uses, a gas station, convenience store, liquor store, and restaurant. Residents noted that they would like to see commercial development in the area, but that they prefer other commercial businesses such as a barbershop, nail salon, coffee shop, grocery store, sit-down restaurant, or similar. And just for context, all proposed uses are permitted under zoning except the motor vehicle fuel fueling station, which is a conditional use. And then residents had concerns about noise and light impact of the project, especially at night during neighborhood quiet hours past 10 p.m. In addition, residents were concerned about the lighting and the impact of the possible overflow of light from the project site to their property. And then just to reiterate for context, the proposed lighting that's proposed with this project meets city requirements, which require downward facing lighting to minimize glare and limit light spillover into adjacent properties. And then in terms of the approval criteria that apply to this project, are the conditional use approval criteria and the site plan with no major adjustments criteria, which are listed both on the screen. The project complies with the applicable conditional use criteria, including a few that I'd like to highlight: that the application complies with all the applicable standards and criteria in the UDO and the Harmony Commercial Master Plan. The application is consistent with the comprehensive plan commercial hub place type, and then the size, scale, height, and land uses are compatible with the existing and planned uses in the surrounding area. The project complies with the site plan with no major adjustment criteria of approval, as the application complies with the applicable standards of the UDO and the Harmony Commercial Master Plan. So in conclusion, with the approval criteria in mind, staff finds to approve agenda items 8H and 8I for the following reasons listed on the screen. With the approval to be subject to the following condition for 8H, that the applicant shall substantially comply with the operations outlined in the letter of introduction of record. Significant changes to the business operations may be approved administratively if the changes do not establish a new use or expansion of use that is not permitted by zoning. This is the conclusion of my presentation. Thank you for everyone listening. The applicant team has a presentation as well. But I'm here to answer any questions in the meantime.
Great, thank you so much, Ani. I'll open the floor for questions from the commission. Commissioner Hogan.
Hi, Ani. As noted on the previous application, which you happen to do, I do not believe that the applicant is the city. And my only reason for correcting that is in some cases it is the city. So let's make sure that that is consistent with who the applicant actually is. So my second question has to do with how did you feel that, how did staff get back to this number of comments? I mean, you had a lot of comments, public comments. How did you reply to those? Was there an attempt to set an additional follow-up meeting with these folks? How did you facilitate the applicant to respond to the neighborhood?
Yeah, great question. And I think I would like, in terms of your first comment, I would like to, I think we need to meet to discuss, like, anyway, I'll check in later about the first comment. But I appreciate you pointing it out. In terms of the first or your second question, we had, when we first got the first initial wave of comments, we immediately told the applicant that you need to have a neighborhood meeting, and that's what transpired on September 23rd. And then in addition to that, that they need to respond to all comments in terms of, and then provide that response to us. So that is how we had, the applicant navigate that situation. As the city, we don't respond to each comment, but we do communicate in terms of, the applicant's interest, any applicants interested in participating in, the neighborhood meeting, and yeah.
Okay, thank you, Ani.
No problem.
Ani, I have a question. Was there a traffic impact study done for this application?
Yes.
Was there a particular reason it's not included in our packet?
I was told that traffic impact studies are not necessarily included as exhibits, but they are provided. So I'm not sure why it wasn't included in the packet. Specifically, it should have been.
Hi, Chair Walls. This is Stephanie, project coordinator.
Hi, Stephanie.
Hi. So if it's okay to
Yeah, go ahead.
interject, we will share any traffic impact studies that have been provided by the case managers, the planners, with their exhibits via OneDrive. So if this is provided with the exhibits, I would have to double check. It would be in the OneDrive file for the traffic studies.
We have
was
8A and E and F, but we don't have anything for this agenda item. So the only reason I ask, it's important, some of the public comment and feedback that was in our packet as I was reading through specifically references the need and hope for development of traffic lights. So I was really wanting to dig in to the level of service and the warrants and needs on this project. So I don't know if Dean is with us or someone from traffic is with us that could kind of, as means of verbal testimony in the hearing, kind of walk us through some of those. I don't remember seeing the Harmony Commercial Master Plan, so I don't know if any of those things were included in the original master plan or what the plan is for any stoplights or any signaling. If you could walk us through that, that would be great.
Yeah, this is Jason Nago with Development Services Traffic. And we've looked at the level of service in the master plan, and we did a traffic impact traffic letter with this application itself and reviewed the signalize it if it met warrants. It doesn't meet warrants at this time. It doesn't meet the 8-hour warrant at this time. So with the development coming in.
On both measures for the future, or?
Well, it will meet warrants later on, but with this development, it won't meet warrants. So
understanding that this
once
is the
another
first
development
piece.
comes in, it will likely need to be signalized at that time.
Okay, thank you. Further questions from the commission for staff? Commissioner Hogan?
A follow-up on your question, were funds collected for those future signals?
They will be.
At what point?
Before PCOs will be given.
Okay, so they
when they're
will be
building it.
collected, and then once they meet warrants, then the funds will be in to trigger a traffic signal. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, and they have the note on their site plan stating that they'll give the 25% for
Excellent.
that
Thank
signal.
you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any further questions from the commission for staff? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the applicant presentation. You'll have 10 minutes to present. Please state your name, and you may optionally state whether or not you are an Aurora resident.
Hi, excuse me. My name is Terrence Holtman with Vignette Studios of 620 Heather Court in Fort Collins, Colorado. I'm going to try to share my screen here. All right, hope everybody can see this.
Yes, go ahead.
Anyway, thank you, Annie, city staff and members of the Planning Commission. Annie did an excellent presentation. I'm going to be reviewing some of the same material, so I'll try to skip over that quickly. Like I said, I am Terrence Vogland, principal of Vignette Studios. We're the land planner and landscape architect on the project. With me tonight is Manraj Singh with Nixon Investment, also with All in One in Colorado. He's the developer and operator. Blaine Matheson, project manager, EPS Group, or civil engineer, will be here. Lauren Steppenbush, our architect, and Brendan Wilson, our traffic engineer, could not make it tonight. As Andy said, we are part of the Harmony Commercial site plan here at the southeast corner of Alameda Avenue and Powhatan Road. Harmony Commercial is kind of highlighted in the peach color. And our lot one that we're talking about tonight is in the red color right here. This shows the overall layout of the Harmony Commercial master plan that was approved back in spring of 2024. The master plan laid out the local private street network, designated the street widths, sidewalk widths, parkway standards, and general uses. It also outlined the detention facilities. And again, we are lot 1 here in the corner. As part of what we're building lot 1, we will be building the private streets that are outlined with these red arrows and lines here, which is our east-west, street B, north-south, street A to this point, as well as this corner. Our access to the site, we will be constructing full movement intersection of this location with a right turn lane and left turn lane built. We'll have a right in, right out at this location where we are constructing a right turn lane in. There'll be a right in, right out onto South Powhatan Road, where again, we're constructing a right turn lane. And in the future, there'll be full movement intersection here, as well as down here in the filing 14. This part of the road network will be built when the future lots are developed. Again, our site plan, we have about 1.45 acres on the site within the public sidewalks. Access site is via full movement intersection here on Street B to the south, and right in movement only on Street A coming off Alameda. We have a 9,747 square foot building. We have placed it here in the northeast corner. It is double-sided, so you can access from Alameda. You can also access from the south. The fuel pumps are placed to the south of the building, away from the neighboring residences. In the building, we have 3 uses. We have a 4,000 square foot liquor store, a 4,000 square foot convenience store, and a 1,747 square foot cafe/restaurant. There are 6 fuel pumps located here, an additional diesel pump that is not covered. 30 parking spaces are required. We are providing 32 spaces. In addition, we do have an outdoor patio that we're putting a trellis on it for shade and privacy and screening. We also have a low ornamental iron fence around the patio to kind of screen up from the vehicular uses, as well as landscaping and some trees. We do provide pedestrian access throughout the site. There are detached sidewalks, of course, along Alameda Powhatan. There are also detached sidewalks along the private streets, along Street A and Street B, and also we have direct pedestrian connections throughout the site, indicated by the red lines here, both the Street A, Powhatan, and Alameda. On our building elevations, we have kind of done more of a contemporary modern look with this. Again, we have 4-sided architecture. This is the elevation that faces Alameda. The elevation up to the south, gas canopies. To the east, which is a restaurant, and to the west, which is Powhatan. Most of our colors include stucco, metal panels, a wood composite with earth tone colors. A little bit about where we are. Again, back to the vicinity map. We're about approximately 300 feet from our property corner to the back lot line, the closest residence in Harmony. There is a arterial street and open space in between both of us. And we're about 480 feet to the closest residence in Adenia. As Annie said, she and I measure this slightly differently, but we still meet the intent. We're about 2,500 feet from the closest school and about 3,500 feet as the walkways go. Again, this both exceed the 500-foot minimum in the conditional use permit. And as Annie pointed out, we're about 2 miles, a little over 2 miles to the nearest commercial properties, which are QT and Sub 11, which are both 24-hour operations. This is only at commercial facilities in the area at this point in time. Well, there undoubtedly will be more in the future. I want to point out some project details. Some of this we've already covered, but this is not another corporate store. This is a locally owned and operated business. There are currently 5 all-in-one stores in operation or under construction and design with more planned. As Annie talked about, we have just our operating hours. Will not be a 24-hour operation. Our convenience stores will be open from 4 a.m. to midnight. Liquor store will be 8 a.m. to midnight. And the cafe restaurant will be from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. As I stated, we're providing an inviting patio with trellis to provide shade and outdoor seating for the restaurant. The patio also has fencing to separate and protect it from vehicle uses. We are providing extra bike parking to encourage the neighbors bike in. I did not mention this. Two bike parking spaces are required. We're providing 5. We have provided multiple pedestrian connections. The retail cafe restaurant will be operated by an independent operator. While an operator has not been identified at this time, it could include a fast casual restaurant, standard restaurant, coffee shop, etc. There'll be indoor and outdoor seating, but we do anticipate a fair amount of takeout orders. As I stated, the building itself is designed not to look like a standard convenience store. Design has contemporary theme with heavy emphasis on a variety of metal, wood, masonry, stucco materials. And there's extensive landscaping on the site, all designed with low water use principles in mind. This includes extensive curbside landscaping, street trees, buffer yards with no turf grass. We have heard loud and clear from the neighbors that they would prefer a full grocery store. While we understand that, a grocery store is not a viable use on the Harmony commercial site, the street block arrangement, not providing room for a grocery store. The convenience store will carry many of the same items as a grocery store, albeit on a far more limited scale. Among other items, this will include fresh fruits, sandwiches, dairy products, cereals, etc. The site lighting has also been designed to be down-directional and dark sky compliant per city code, while also providing adequate light to safely operate the business. This will eliminate light spillage into the adjacent neighborhoods. In summary, we comply with all applicable code requirements as Andy went over, including dimensional standards, subdivisional standards, neighbor protection standards. In more detail, we do not immediately abut any lots in R2 district. We comply with building height standards, exterior lighting standards. We do not have the refuse containers drive through other entities when they're protected lot requirements. We meet setback and buffering and screening requirements, and we will meet noise requirements. The site plan complies with the Harmony Commercial Master Plan for internal private streets and site access. We can meet with separation requirements from street rights of way and other access points. And we meet pedestrian connectivity with detached sidewalks and pedestrian connections throughout. We exceed parking and loading requirements. We meet all landscape screening and stormwater requirements. We do have four-sided architecture. As I previously mentioned, our lighting, we have down-directional dark sky compliant lighting, and we will meet the sign requirements. As part of the conditional use criteria that Annie also went over, item A, this application is consistent with the Harmony Commercial Master Plan and UDOs as we have discussed. B, the project site is within the commercial hub place type. C, we're complying with the surrounding areas with a single-story building. Site plan meets the requirements of UDO as discussed. The traffic impacts are also consistent with the surrounding area. We will be contributing our proportional share to street and traffic light improvements. Hours of operation are consistent as previously discussed. And D, use is consistent with approved Harmony Commercial Master Plan. And E, the site is contributing to the completion of arterial streets along the frontage. This is a currently vacant site, so there's no dislocations of existing tenants. And we have worked with the city to mitigate any adverse impacts to the highest degree possible, including not limited to building placement, pedestrian access, inclusion of turn lanes, patios, building architecture, and other items already discussed. And that ends my presentation. That was fairly quick, but we had a lot to cover in 10 minutes. Appreciate it.
Great, thank you for your presentation. I'll open the floor for questions from the commission for the applicant.
This is Commissioner Jacek. When the convenience store is closed and will the pumps still be available to use with a credit card?
Yes, they will. This is Manraj Singh, the developer, and I am a Aurora resident.
Okay. And one more question. Do you have an air, like tire filling station on the site?
Yes, we will be providing that as well.
Okay, thank you.
Further questions from the commission? Commissioner Hogan?
Commissioner Wall's staff or the applicant, I may have missed this, so I apologize. But did you not desire a drive-through anywhere on this site? Because obviously one is not shown. I just didn't know because it would not be uncommon to have some kind of drive-through, whether it's liquor or restaurant or at least a drive-up.
We decided to go against the drive-through concept, at least for this location. We've done it in the past, but it just adds on a lot of costs. We're trying to keep costs down and spend it where, we can see a little bit better return.
Okay, thank you.
I would like to know a little bit more about your interaction with the public and the public meetings or your response. Walk us through a little bit how you mitigated the community's concerns or how you feel like the current application before us has mitigated some of those concerns.
Yeah, sure. So basically, a lot of the concerns were about being 24 hours, which we responded by shrinking our hours down. And then also a lot of the community wanted, grocery stores and basically other uses besides, let's say, a gas station. But I tried to explain to them that without the gas station, a development can't really start. And I don't know if you guys have seen that. It's pretty normal here in Aurora and kind of all throughout Colorado. The gas station is usually the first to a site. It generates traffic. It brings people into a certain area. I can't sign on a grocery store anchor or, other restaurants and other uses until I put this into place and they see that the gas station is doing well and is pulling a good amount of traffic.
Okay, so it's your understanding that a 4-hour closure mitigates those concerns about operating hours?
Yes, I highly doubt once we open that we will even stay open until midnight. It really just depends on the demand. If there is no demand, we have no reason to stay open past, say, 10 o'clock. And then 4 a.m. we open because we try to get the traffic of people going to work early in the morning. So it just kind of makes sense that way.
Okay, and I noticed in your types of restaurants that you were looking for to include in the development, you specifically didn't include QSRs. So does that mean that you're committed to not moving forward with a fast food restaurant?
Every single station that we've done before has been a local person. We like working with the local person better. It's, me coming from Aurora, this is the city I've been in 25 years. I've been raised here practically. So this is kind of my way of bringing the community up with me. And yes, I don't mind committing to that. In the past, we've worked with local Mexican restaurants and local Mediterranean, and actually another Mediterranean in our other location as well.
Okay, thank you. Further questions from the commission for the applicant? Seeing none, Stephanie, do we have any members of the public signed up to speak on this agenda item?
Yes, Chair, we do have several members of the public signed up to speak. Our first member of the public would be Mark Saxelby. And Mark, I'm going to allow you to unmute yourself. If you could please just state your name, and if you're an Aurora resident, you would have 3 minutes to provide public comment. And you should be able to unmute.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you for your time. Yeah, my name is Mark Saxelby. I'm a resident of Colorado for 27 years. I'm a business leader. My business is in Aurora, Colorado, Tower and 70. Employ about 24 people, contribute $1.2 million in sales tax every year to the city of Aurora. I'm one of the first 50 residents to Harmony. My in-laws are residents to Harmony. My son and daughter-in-law are residents to Harmony. And my other son and daughter-in-law are residents to Sky Ranch, which is right next to us. The reason I tell you that is we are fully committed. I'm also a volunteer on the HOA here in Harmony, so You know, we're in the community, we're invested in the community, and we plan on staying in the community. When I moved into this community, I knew it would be a commercial development. I did not anticipate it would be a gas station. Our research shows that property values decrease substantially. My first source is the U.S. Sustainable Real Estate Journal. So across the United States, when a liquor store, a gas station, or convenience store is built within 328 feet of residents across the United States, property values drop 16%. When it's within 2,000 feet, they drop 9%. A study by the Not In My Neighborhood of 600 residential neighborhoods in the United States of America, 86% of those residents surveyed believe that it lowers property values and people do not buy in those neighborhoods when a property like this is built. For a Colorado comparison, for all of us that live here, you can reference our neighbor Denver City, Councilwoman Amanda Sawyer. There's a great study out there about situations like this. It supports that is negative valuation for property values in neighborhoods like Harmony. It also references how they've dropped property values in Baltimore, Chicago, Columbus, Jacksonville, and Minneapolis. So I encourage you to take a look at those if you haven't. And then specifically to Colorado, when a gas station is built within a neighborhood in the same distance, property values drop 16%. When a convenience store is built within that same distance, they drop 8%. In a liquor store, they drop 3%. Some additional
Mark, are you still with us? I think we lost your audio.
Yes, I am. Did you hear me about there's about 1,000 residents in Harmony today? Once again, I'm one of the first 50. I'm on the HOA. So my experience is pretty good. In my facts here, over 600 of us do not want this in our neighborhood. The applicant has referenced that they're from Aurora. They bought and sold both their convenience stores, one in Murphy Creek, one in Greenwood Village. So they are not committed. This is short-term gain. I'd ask all the city commission here to think about your home, your neighborhood, your equity. Would you want this based on these facts to have your property value dropped? The neighborhood already is
Okay,
referenced.
Mark,
We have
your
two
time-
gas stations. I have
Your
one more
time
point.
has expired.
I have one more point.
I'm sorry, your time has expired. Thank you for your comments. Hang on just a second. Let me see if there are any questions from the commission. Do any commissioners have questions for Mark? Okay, thank you for your testimony. Stephanie, who's up next?
Okay, our next speaker would be Rihanna Atney, and I apologize if I mispronounced. I will be unmuting you, and again, you'll have the ability to unmute yourself if you can please state your name, and if you're an Aurora resident, you would have 3 minutes to speak.
Hi, yeah, my name is, can you all hear me? Just to check.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
go ahead.
My name is Rhiannon Athey. I am a member of Aurora and also a resident of the Harmony neighborhood. And like Mark, I also do volunteer with our HOA, specifically with our social community, focused around, the sense of community within our neighborhood. I've lived in the neighborhood for almost 5 years, and it's very apparent among our neighborhood and our surrounding neighborhoods of Adonia, Tradition, Sky Ranch. We are all very active and involved, not only as individual communities, but also as a whole. We're really looking for more of a community-focused development, not yet, again, another gas station. We already have 3, less than 3 miles from the neighborhood. A gas station is not a space that will drive the concept of community and actually bring people together. Conversations with neighbors, it's been apparent that there is a desire for more family community focused and oriented development, and a development that would help draw small and local businesses that will better benefit the community. Some areas of examples of these types of development are found around the Denver area. Oneida Park in Park Hill is one where they have locally owned businesses and restaurants that is basically the size of what this development is planned for. That location includes family-friendly restaurants, ice cream parlors, other services and goods that benefit nearby residents. There's also a small outdoor space where children can play. And again, all of those businesses are locally owned and supporting our local community. Another ideal concept obviously would be the Stanley Marketplace. I understand that something that size and scale wouldn't be doable, but maybe something smaller where it does drive the sense of community as well as support small and local businesses. Some stats from the Stanley Marketplace is they held 148 community events. They hosted 623 local Colorado artists and 140 live music performances, all from local musicians. Again, I'm highlighting this to showcase the success of a commercial space that thrives with the community being the primary focus of the space. At the end of the day, the last thing this community needs is another gas station when we have several around. We bought our house as we were sold on the desire of community, and we should strive to expand community to the commercial developments that will literally be a part of this community and also help bring members not only of Harmony, but the surrounding neighborhoods together in a place where people and families of all ages can spend time and space that feel like a part of the neighborhood and have more community-oriented commercial development to make the community a more desirable area and help increase property values.
Thank you for your testimony, Rhiannon. Any members of the commission have any questions for Rhiannon? Okay, Stephanie, who's up next?
Our next speaker would be Adam DeWilt. And I'm just unmuting you now, or giving you the ability to unmute yourself, forgive me. You should be able to unmute and you can provide your comment.
Thank you, Stephanie. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, go ahead.
Perfect. Good evening, Chair and members of the Planning Commission. My name is Adam DeWilt, and I've lived in Harmony since March of 2020. I was the 21st home built in this project, adjacent to the proposed all-in-one Harmony commercial site. I'm here to speak about community safety and crime concerns related to the gas station and liquor store within a few blocks of our homes, neighborhood park, and community center. Safety and security are paramount for our community. The primary reason many residents chose this secluded area was for a quieter, safer living conditions away from high-intensity commercial activity. Even with reduced operating hours, a gas station and liquor store would bring increased traffic, noise, and activity during evening and nighttime hours, including individuals who may be impaired or lingering after alcohol purchases. This introduces additional risks for pedestrians, children, and families who live nearby. Our residential streets were not designed for this type of sustained commercial traffic, and this particular intersection is extremely dangerous as is. The peace this neighborhood currently enjoys would be replaced by the consistent presence of vehicles, lighting, and noise, fundamentally changing the character of our community and eroding the sense of safety residents rely on. Research consistently shows that the presence of off-site alcohol outlets, including liquor stores and convenience stores that sell alcohol in association with increased neighborhood crime is associated with increased neighborhood crime and public disorder. A study published in the Journal of Urban Health found that neighborhoods with liquor stores measurable increase in crime and disturbances. Additional research shows that each 10% increase in access to off-premise alcohol outlets is associated with approximately a 4 to 5% increase in exposure to violent crime. These concerns are not theoretical. Our nearby public park, which is a few blocks away, has already experienced late-night loitering, littering, and disorderly behavior, even without alcohol selling businesses nearby. Placing a liquor store with close proximity risks amplifying these issues, increasing opportunities for unsafe behavior and disturbances spilling into our residential spaces. We cannot allow these risks to overshadow the safe haven we have worked hard to create for our families. While gas stations and convenience retail may serve a role in appropriate commercial corridors, this proposal in this specific location next to homes and a park presents a clear documented safety concerns. I respectfully urge the commission to consider the research, the residential nature of our neighborhood, and the long-term public safety implications before approving this application. The 24-hour, and this is new to me, but the 24-hour pump with no security in our neighborhood already, in my personal opinion, is only going to add to what could potentially be a different type of hangout and things of that nature. We're already getting drag racing and a bunch of other things in the area. So please visit the area. I'm begging you. That intersection is so dangerous. Please go see it for yourself.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
Thanks, Adam. Any questions from the commission for Adam? Okay, Stephanie, who's up next?
Our next speaker would be Erica Clamage. And I'm not seeing Erica on our list of attendees, but I see our next attendee who is David Clamage. So I suspect they may be together. So I am going to unmute David. You would have the ability to speak if you could please provide your name. If you're a resident, you would have 3 minutes. And of course, if Erica's on, that would be great.
Hi, yes, my name is David Clamage. Erica is my wife. She wasn't able to attend, but I'll speak for both of us. I live in Harmony, which is, of course, in Aurora. I've lived here for 2 years. I have a 15-month-old daughter. My mother also lives with us, and I also own a second home in Harmony, which is occupied by my brother and sister-in-law and 2 nieces and a nephew who attend the school. So I want to talk about pollution issues related to the gas station and convenience store. I would say that the gas station would introduce multiple forms of pollution, including noise, light, air, and potential environmental contamination. Air pollution from gasoline vapors is a serious health concern. Gas stations emit volatile organic compounds, known as VOCs, which contribute to ground-level ozone pollution and include benzene, a known carcinogen. According to the National Institutes of Health, exposure to these pollutants increase the risk of asthma, birth defects, and cancer. Additionally, children are particularly vulnerable. A May 2023 article from the National Library of Medicine links benzene emissions from gas stations to increased risk of childhood leukemia. Elevated risk was observed within 1,000 meters, about 30 to 80 feet, with even higher risk within 250 meters, which is about 820 feet. Setback distances do not fully protect nearby residents. A 2018 study led by environmental health scientists at Columbia University's Mailman School of Public Health found that significantly more benzene is released by gas stations than previously believed, in some cases exposing people beyond the commonly cited 300-foot setback distance. The proposal places risks unacceptably close to children and homes. The gas station would be approximately 2,300 feet from an elementary school, 1,400 feet from a popular park, 1,200 feet from my own backyard, and roughly 500 feet from a neighbor's backyard. Light pollution would directly impact nearby residents. Bright, poorly shielded lighting can disrupt sleep by interfering with circadian rhythms, shine into homes and reduce privacy, and create glare that makes it hard for drivers to see pedestrians and cyclists, particularly at night. Quality of life would be permanently reduced. Continuous artificial lighting creates perpetual twilight, eliminates natural darkness, introduces constant visual disturbances into the neighborhood, and is currently residential in character. There is also a long-term environmental risk. Fuel transfer between tanker trucks, storage tanks, and vehicles carries spill risk. Underground storage tanks and connecting pipes can corrode, rupture, and leak over time, posing potential threats to soil and groundwater. Taken together, the proximity of this gas station presents an unacceptably high health and environmental risk, especially to children and nearby residents, and is not appropriate for this location. Thank you for your time.
Great, thank you for your testimony, David. Any questions for David? Okay, Stephanie, who's up next?
Okay, our next speaker would be Arvin Martinez. And Arvin, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, my name is Arvin. I've lived here for almost 3 years. In that time, I've retired from active duty military, and I still work at the Space Force Base here at Buckley. So my concerns for this project are excessive noise because, as mentioned earlier, the gas pumps are going to be available 24 hours. So it's almost like the liquor store availability is meaningless considering that cars are going to be coming here to fill up and produce excessive noise, considering that they're going to be tuners with full-throated exhaust and modified for excessive noise, this will be a meeting point for that kind of activity. So that will lead to excessive loitering, excessive noise in our park areas, as mentioned earlier by David and Adam. There will be more issues with noise that will go unanswered because we are so far away from any kind of police presence. If anyone makes any complaint, nobody's going to come out here in time to catch anybody doing anything. But I want to focus on noise. Now, the fact that it will go late into the night is going to be a problem for our residents, and we need our sleep to do whatever it is we do. David is right across the street. He has a small child, and other people have families they want to raise here. We moved away from the city specifically to get away from disturbances and city-like noise environments that this will bring to us out here. So this is not going to be something that will raise the community in the way that the planner, the presenter had said, because it's not the kind of attention that we want. Now, the other issues with noise, yeah, they're going to come here and go to our park areas and make more noise. And there will be issues for the houses that are the perimeter of the park areas, which we already have problems in the summer with kids and everyone else with the good weather that we have causing additional noise. But now that we have vehicles coming out here to get gas and liquor that's available way too late, and as previously mentioned, into our quiet hours, there can only be more noise that we never wanted. Nobody wants this kind of attention in our neighborhood. And while saying that, oh, it's going to bring more of what we do want, that is not worth the price that we're going to pay for the disturbances and the issues that are going to come from this project. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Arvin. Any questions from the commission for Arvin? Okay, seeing none. Stephanie, who's up next? You're muted, Stephanie.
Sorry about that, just an autopilot. Our next speaker would be Aditi Desai. You should be able to unmute yourself to provide comment.
Hello, commissioners. My name is Aditi Desai. Can you all hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I'm a Harmony and Aurora resident. I'm also an HOA committee member in Harmony, and I'm here to speak about our community culture and values. They are the reason that my family purchased not one, but 2 houses in this specific neighborhood. When we first heard about this development, the community instantly started organizing because this is not who Harmony is or wants to be as a community. Our neighborhood is a family-oriented place that has managed to maintain its charm and warmth over the years. As a resident, I can personally attest to the peace and safety that make this place feel like home. Every morning, I enjoy seeing children playing in the park behind my house, going to school, and families enjoying evening walks with their dogs. This picturesque setting is at risk of being disruptive if a proposed 20-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week gas station and liquor store are allowed to open in our midst. The community sentiment is so opposed to this project that I was able to garner hundreds of signatures against this proposed gas station liquor store within a matter of days. The results of the change.org petition should be included in your hearing packets. As of this hearing, 515 members of the neighborhood have signed a petition opposing the gas station liquor store in our neighborhood. The petition not only includes Harmony residents, but also includes residents who live directly across the street in Adonia. We collectively are speaking up and do not want this specific business or developer coming in and creating something that none of us want, will use, and will boycott, since it will add zero value to this beautiful culture that we have cultivated. In addition to 515 petition signers, a number of neighbors wrote comments in the petition. I'd love to share a few of those on their behalf because we wanted to limit the amount of people who made public comments to be respectful of your time. So I'll share some of those comments now. This idea in a neighborhood by schools is crazy. Safety is a priority, and a liquor store will bring unwanted crowding, traffic, drama. The priorities are all wrong. We need grocery stores. That's from Rochelle. I do not support a 20-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week convenience store or liquor store. This is a family neighborhood. We want businesses that promote safe family activities. We should not be promoting alcohol to our growing youths. Try a restaurant or service business instead, KP. While I'm ready for retail growth, this is not it. With terrible fast food that would come in, that's not exactly what this community is needing. We've already got 2 new gas stations down the road. We need beneficial growth. That's from Courtney. Thank you, commissioners, for listening to those of us who represent a majority of our neighbors this evening and feel hopeful that you will take 515 petition signers' voices into account when making a final decision on this project's development. There is fierce community-wide opposition to this project. We'd welcome other types of business development. We don't want the bare minimum of distance based on code. This is our home, and that is not good enough for us.
Thank you for your comments, Aditi. Just one quick question from me. Since you're a member of the HOA, I was curious if the Harmony HOA had any interaction with the master developer on types of commercial development that would be developed in all of these future tracks.
I'm part of one of the neighborhood community committees, and so I can't speak to the HOA, which is primarily consisting of developers. We have one homeowner who is currently officially a part of the HOA, and they're not present.
Okay, did your neighborhood group, did you have any interaction with the master developer about types of commercial development that you'd like to see?
So I serve with Mark Saxelby on the Neighborhood Advisory Committee, and in that one of our previous meetings, we did share that we would love for additional different types of local businesses to come into the neighborhood, and those meeting notes are always shared with the developers. So yes.
Okay, and was that prior to this application or after you got notice about this particular development?
That meeting that I attended was after we saw this application come through.
Okay, thank you. Further questions from the commission for Aditi? Okay, thank you for your comments. Stephanie, who's up next?
Okay, our next speaker would be Varang Desai. And I'm just going to allow you to unmute yourself now. And you should be able to unmute. And Varang, you should be able to unmute. It depends on your visual on your screen. You may see a little button that looks like a microphone. Usually it's on the upper right-hand corner, but it may be in a different location. Oh,
yeah,
there you go.
yeah. This is Varang Desai. I'm a resident of a Harmony community. We moved here a year and a half ago, and my daughter. The reason we moved here, we helped my daughter move here, and the community was so quiet and so pleasant, and so this gas station and liquor store and convenience store, it will cause a chaos and traffic jams, and even if you put the lights on Alameda, traffic gonna back up because it's gonna be longer red lights, and 12 o'clock they're gonna close 12 o'clock midnight. People gonna buy the liquor. They're gonna hang out till 2 in the morning, especially in the summertime, So I hope you guys understand, that we want a quiet neighborhood, and that's all I have to say. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for your comments, Varang. Any questions for Varang? Okay, Stephanie, who's up next?
Our last speaker that we have is Rita Desai, and I'm just looking through our attendee list and I don't see Rita on the list. I'll just give another look to make sure that I'm not missing. Chair Walls, I'm not seeing a Rita Desai on our list still of attendees to provide public comment. That would be our last speaker form, and I'll just go ahead and double check to make sure I'm not missing anyone. Looks like we just had a form submitted for a Cameron. I'm just seeing if Cameron is on the call. I don't see a Cameron as an attendee.
Do you have the last name by any chance?
Not the last name.
Okay.
Just Cameron. Oh, I see somebody
just
raised their hand. Oh, there
Charlie?
you are, Charlie. Okay, I'll go ahead and assume that you are the individual I'm mentioning. I'll allow your mic. If you could please say your first and last name. If you're a resident, you would be able to provide public comment.
Hi, yeah, sorry about the name mishap there. So my name's Cameron. I do live in Harmony. My wife and I have been here going on 2 years now. I was one of the unfortunate people to be victims of a high value theft in the neighborhood. Whenever we first got in here, something to the tune of like $60,000 or $70,000. Truck, camper, trailer, and our belongings got stolen. And that is part of our introduction to Colorado as an active duty military family. So that being said, yeah, having a liquor store nearby is not something that I'm very interested in having. I would like to prevent any of the riffraff that comes in with stuff associated with that. And then one thing that was brought up as well, I'm not sure if the applicant provided responses to the neighborhood meeting comments. So I'd like to have that looked at.
Okay, and Cameron, I missed your last name.
Yeah, it's Moore.
Okay, thank you very much. Questions from the commission for Cameron? Okay, thank you very much, Cameron, for your public testimony. Is anyone else as an attendee on the call that potentially hasn't signed up to speak that would like to be heard before the commission on these two agenda items? You can raise your hand if you're in the active session of the Teams meeting. Okay, seeing none, we will now go to the applicant who will have 5 minutes to wrap up.
All right, I appreciate all those comments. To just get right into it, first comment was about house prices. I would like to disagree with that study, as a lot of those price decreases may have been because of older gas stations. Any new development next to a community is usually a good sign, and is actually great for the house developer, as well as they get to sell more lots and kind of just grow the community quicker, faster. And then there was comments about, having a Stanley Marketplace type, more of a community oriented retail, but unfortunately that would not work here as there's not enough traffic and just overall population yet. And then I know a lot of these speakers also said stuff about, there's multiple other gas stations, but those are over 2 miles away, and even more if you account just road, if you were to take a road, I think it's over like 3 miles. But once it's all said and done, once this whole area community is built, this gas station will honestly just blend in, and it really won't be as big of a deal as it is now. As more houses get built, more retail will show up, and it won't be as big of a problem. Also, there was issues about local restaurants, which I even said I would provide a tenant as being a local restaurant owner. Pollution, I mean, there's a oil and gas, I believe, drilling to the south and to the north. So I don't believe the gas station is, that could be even considered as, a polluter. I mean, yes, but there's studies, and we're compliant with Colorado state emissions and everything like that, which we get tested for once a year. And lighting pollution, there's a photometric done on that, which should be compliant with everything. And then yeah, I mean, everything else I believe was kind of already addressed with a lot of the studies that's included in our application. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, thank you. Final opportunity for questions from the commission for the applicant, staff, or any of the public testimony. Okay, seeing none, I will close this portion of the public hearing and entertain a motion first on agenda item 8H.
Chair
This is
Wall. Go ahead, Gail. Commissioner Judge.
I'm going to be brave and just go ahead and do it. Agenda item 8H, conditional use for motor vehicle fueling dispensing station in MUC zone. Based on staff recommendation, the presentations and discussion at this evening's public hearing, I move to approve with one condition, that conditional use for a motor vehicle fuel dispensing station, because the proposal complies with the requirement of section 146-5.4.3.A.3 of the Unified Development Ordinance for the reasons stated in the staff report. Approval to be subject to the following condition. Relating to the conditionally approved fueling station, the applicant shall substantially comply with the operations outlined in the letter of introduction of record. Significant changes to the business operation may be approved administratively if they do not establish a new use or expansion of the use that is not permitted by zoning.
Thank you, Commissioner Jecic. It's been moved to approve agenda item 8H. Is there a second? Thank you, Commissioner Riley. It's been moved and seconded to approve 8H. I'll open the floor for discussion. Due to the overwhelming impact of the public testimony, I encourage all commissioners to go on record in discussing this motion for adoption.
This is Commissioner Jecic. This happens almost every planning commission where we have a gas station or liquor store. And the public needs to understand commissioners have to go by section 146 of the code. We're not the policy makers. That is city council. I feel really bad because I'm a neighbor too, and I have the same thing. We've got a liquor store that wants to open right in our neighborhood, and we've had 500 signatures against it. But planning commission has to go by section 146 of the code. If it passes, the development passes all the criteria, then we have to approve it. It's going to be city council that is the policymaker that can change this.
Thank you, Commissioner Jecic. Further discussion on 8H. Go ahead, Commissioner Banka.
Sorry, I was muted. I want to just echo what Gail has said, Commissioner Jecic has said, and that is, whether we think it's good, bad, or indifferent, if it meets the regulations, it meets the code. As commissioners, our hands are pretty tied. I've, spoken out on a few things and have very much learned that if it crosses the T's and dots the I's, that is the limit of our job. So anyway, to the public that is not excited about this happening in their area, I do sympathize, but please know that, as commissioners, we're bound by strict rules as well.
Great, thank you, Commissioner Banka. Further discussion on 8H.
This is Commissioner Jecic again. One more thing, your option is whatever we vote on, you can always, what's it called?
Appeal
to city council and take it up with them.
Thank you, Commissioner Jecic. Commissioner Hogan?
A question perhaps for the city attorney, because one of the criteria for the conditional use for motor vehicle fuel dispensing is any adverse impacts to the surrounding area have been mitigated to a degree practicable. With this much neighborhood opposition, in the city attorney's opinion, does this qualify as an adverse impact to the surrounding area?
Hi, Commissioners and Chair Walls, Lena McClelland, Senior Assistant City Attorney with the City of Aurora. So I'm going to tread a little lightly here because it's not my role to tell you all how to interpret the criteria. You all are the commissioners, that is your role. However, what I will say is that that criteria does allow some room for you to interpret that and decide amongst yourselves if you do not feel that the criteria has been mitigated. I will say that I would call you to the language at the end of that sentence where it says to the degree practicable. I think it's important to note in their conversation what you believe is practicable or not in that determination. But I cannot answer that for you. You all need to decide whether or not it meets the criteria.
Thank you, Lena. Go ahead, Commissioner Hogan.
You know, based upon that criteria, it would be, if I have to vote on this today, it's going to be a no vote for me. What I would rather do is encourage the applicant to go back to the neighborhood and try to meet the degree practicable, because I believe there is some work to be done. There seemed to be quite a distance between the last neighborhood meeting in which some of these issues were responded to in this public hearing. So it would be my hope that either opt for a continuation of this, or again, you have the ability to appeal, but based on tonight's testimony, I will be voting no on this.
Thank you, Commissioner Hogan. That's, I think, sort of a perfect segue into my comments. We're in a difficult position because we're bound by Code Section 146. There are very few criteria within 146 where our interpretation of that code comes into play. I think one of the key elements there is what Commissioner Hogan just brought out, is that we're here stuck with kind of balancing the overwhelming public testimony, a petition. I mean, we have 557 on record. We had 8 testify tonight. Balancing that public testimony, and that is the surrounding neighborhood, and are any of the potential adverse impacts, which we've covered a few. We've covered traffic. I think the needs and warrants for traffic will be satisfied with future development, so I'm not as concerned with that. We've talked about lighting, we've talked about noise, we've talked about potential access to younger members of our families. We've talked about many of the issues, I think, that could be adverse impacts. And I'm not convinced that this conditional use, those impacts have been mitigated to a degree practicable for this community. So I don't think that I can support this either. I think that, along with Commissioner Hogan, I would like to see this applicant, this is time for you to double down. If you expect this community to support this commercial development, when clearly there's this much negative demand against your development, it's time to go back to the drawing board and sit down and make it a collaborative effort. This is part of a master plan. That master plan is dependent upon the residential community that surrounds the commercial development. It's absolutely dependent upon it. So I think it's incumbent upon the applicant to go back to this community and hold open forums and talk about what the desire is, what the wish is. We obviously cannot, within the bounds of Code Section 146, say, we like this business, we don't like this business. But before us is a conditional use, and the conditional use does weigh heavily upon any of those potential adverse impacts to the community. So as it stands now with the application before me, based upon me feeling that those adverse impacts have not been mitigated to a degree practicable for this community, I can't support this particular agenda item. Further discussion on 8H.
This is Commissioner Jetchik again. I'm feeling the same way. That was very well put. The quiet zone, the 10 p.m., that bothers me. I would hope that the developer could work with that, with the neighborhood and honor the 10 p.m. quiet zone.
They have.
Commissioner Riley, Commissioner Bush, if you have any comments, I do see the applicant raise their hand. I won't allow any new additional testimony, but if the applicant is agreeing to either withdraw or continue, we'll take that. I'd like to hear your comments first, if you have any, and then I'll go to the applicant.
As a new member, I get a little astounded by the overwhelming public comment. And personally, I think that we as a commission, or I need to learn more about it as well, because in my opinion, it's not well received, and therefore it is not well thought out, and it is not well incorporated into the design to make sure that people are satisfied, both the developer and the residents.
Thank you, Commissioner Riley. Commissioner Bush?
Oh, I believe all of the presenters tonight really validated their comments. It wasn't just an emotional, but there were specifics, and because of that, I will definitely be voting against this.
Okay. How would the commission feel, rather than voting down this particular motion, to vote similar to what we did on Jewel Cottages, to vote to lay this on the table and give the applicant some more time to work with any of the residents? If the applicant certainly isn't willing to do that, then we can obviously recalendar the agenda item and vote it down if that's the commission's wishes at that point. Would that motion be favorable to the commission? What do you guys think about that strategy?
I concur.
I do too.
I agree.
That's good.
Okay, then at this time, I rise to move to lay agenda items 8H and 8I on the table indefinitely. Is there a second?
Second.
Lena's got her hand up.
Yeah, it's recorded with the second, Colonel Riley. Lena, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm so sorry, Chair Walls. There is already a motion on the table, so you all will need to withdraw that motion and then do
Correct.
this other motion.
Sorry,
Okay.
I misstated. This motion can be secondary to that motion. I'm laying that motion on the table. Is
Okay,
that
so
correct?
do I need to this is Commissioner
That
Jetchik.
was a question for Lena, sorry.
Yeah, do I need to withdraw my motion?
If you're doing this secondary to that, that's okay.
Okay, thank you. So to make it clear for the commission, I'll restate. I'm moving, or I rise to move, that we lay the approval of 8H on the table indefinitely. The motion that was made by Commissioner Jetchik. And Colonel Riley understood and still desired to second.
I do.
Okay, that's a non-debatable motion. I'll call the roll. Commissioner Jetchik?
Agree, approve.
Commissioner Riley?
I concur. I approve.
Commissioner Banka?
Approve or
Commissioner
concur.
Bush?
I approve and understand.
Okay, Commissioner Hogan?
Approve.
And Commissioner Walls also votes to approve. So we will lay the motion for 8H on the table. And Lena, legal question, since 8H is that particular motion to approve is laid on the table, does that also lay with it I, or it becomes moot?
No, they are separate agenda items. I I would suggest that you open that hearing and make a motion to lay that agenda item on the table as well, conditional on the 8H coming back. The site plan would not move forward if the conditional use failed, obviously, but at this point, the conditional use has not failed.
Sure. Okay, thank you. Considering agenda item 8I, I move to lay agenda item 8I on the table indefinitely as it's conditioned upon the recalendering or bringing back agenda item 8H to be considered by the commission. Is there a second? Thank you, Commissioner Bush. That is also non-debatable. I'll call the roll. Commissioner Jacek.
Approve.
Commissioner Bush.
Approve.
Commissioner Riley.
I approve.
Commissioner Benka.
Approve.
Commissioner Hogan.
Approve.
And Commissioner Walls also votes to approve. So 8H, the motion to approve, and the agenda item 8I will be laid on the table.
Good job,
Okay.
Holmes.
Let's go back to my agenda here. Sorry.
Hey, Garrett, sorry for my ignorance here, but can you tell me what all?
Go ahead, Stephanie. You can unmute the applicant.
Okay,
I think that was
sorry
the
about that,
applicant.
Mark. I think that was a public speaker, Mark Saxelby. Had a
Yeah,
question.
hi, Garrett. Could you, sorry for my ignorance here, but could you take what you just said out of British Commonwealth usage and put it into plain English to what you just decided on for us?
Sure. So rather than the commission voting down any of the particular agenda items with respect to this particular application, we've decided to lay it on the table so that it cannot be decided tonight, and in the hope that the applicant would work with the community and then bring the application, notify planning staff of any changes, and bring the application back to be removed off the table.
Is there a time frame for that?
No time frame. It's indefinite.
And what happens if the applicant doesn't approach us?
Then it wouldn't be calendared on the agenda.
So.
Okay, any other process questions can be directed to staff offline outside of the meeting. So I encourage you to contact city staff. They'd be happy to walk you through the process. Okay, moving on. Stephanie, do we have any members of the public signed up to speak on non-agenda items?
No, Chair, we do not.
Okay. We will move into our miscellaneous items of business, comments by commissioners. The first thing on our agenda is the 2026 officer elections. So we will first start with the position of chair. Do any of the current members of the commission need an explanation, or do you have any questions about the position of chair before we open nominations? No? Okay. The floor is now officially open. I'll accept nominations for the position of chair of the commission for 2026.
This is Commissioner Jacek. I nominate Garrett Walls for chair again. He's done such a fabulous job.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Gail. Is there a second to Commissioner Jacek's nomination?
I second.
Thank you, Commissioner Bush. Thank you, Commissioner Benka. Okay, I don't believe we need any discussion. Are there any other nominations? Sorry, I should ask for other nominations. Okay, seeing none, we'll move to a vote. Commissioner Jacek?
Yes.
Commissioner Bush?
Yes.
Commissioner Riley?
Hearty endorsement.
Commissioner Benka?
Absolutely.
Commissioner Hogan?
Heck yeah.
Great, and I don't feel the need to vote for myself. Thank you very much. I will serve as chair for 2026. I will open, anyone have any questions on the role or position of first vice chair or the responsibilities there too? Okay, seeing none, I will open the floor for nominations. Commissioner Benka?
I'd like to nominate Becky Hogan.
Okay, and I would like to second Becky's nomination. I'm assuming you accept, Becky?
I will, with one caveat, and that's that I'd very much like to have a second vice chair that will shadow me. I think that it has been an honor to be vice chair, but it is time for people to learn how to organize study sessions and, have that opportunity. So I would very much like to job share this for 2026.
Fair enough. Are there any other nominations for first vice chair? Seeing none, I'll call the roll. Commissioner Jacek,
Approve.
Commissioner Bush,
Approve.
Commissioner Riley,
Yes.
Commissioner Benka,
Absolutely. Yes.
Commissioner Hogan. You don't have to vote if you don't want to. Commissioner Walls votes yes.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, congratulations. You will serve as the first vice chair for 2026. Second vice chair, the first vice chair has made an edict that this person will be in training and share the responsibilities and assist with helping with study session and any of the other administrative kind of things that help the commission run in terms as it relates to each one of us. So I will open the floor for nominations for second vice chair.
This is Commissioner Jacek. I nominate Colonel Riley for second vice chair.
I second that nomination. Colonel Riley, do you accept?
I do, particularly because of our conversations and then with Becky saying I could shadow. So I feel much more comfortable in my nascent role here.
All right. Any other nominations for second vice chair? Okay, I'll call the roll. Commissioner Jacek,
Yes.
Commissioner Bush,
I approve.
Commissioner Riley,
I'll abstain.
Commissioner Benka,
Absolutely.
Commissioner Hogan,
Yes.
and Commissioner Walls also gives a resounding yes. Commissioner Riley, congratulations. You are the
Thank you
second
very
vice
much.
chair for 2026. All right, guys. Commissioner Benka, thank you so much for stepping
Yes.
in when you were needed and assisting Becky this last year as second vice chair. Your insight, your humor, your presence has all been felt and appreciated. So thank you for serving as second vice chair this last year. Okay, any other miscellaneous items of business or any comments by the commissioners? Colonel Riley, go ahead.
I have two items. Again, it's education. In my neighborhood, GVRE filing 17 will get an admin decision. I'm assuming every time Janine writes an admin decision, a sign must go out saying that's done. But they're still asking for public comment. What value is there for public comment if there is an administrative decision?
Brandon, I would happily go, or you, Janine, either one of you. I'll go to either one of you.
Chair Riley and Chair, it's been a long week. Chair Walls, Commissioner Riley, under the code, we do have the option of moving something to the Planning and Zoning Commission. So if for some reason, all of a sudden, there was a lot of opposition that came out after the sign was posted, we could move it. Brandon? Anything else?
Well, when we notice to the limited amount of people that we notice to, meaning by code, meaning the abutting landowners, not necessarily the HOAs, those are the folks who have the ability to appeal. And so that's kind of making them aware of it one final time to kind of accommodate that. That doesn't apply to the HOAs and all that kind of stuff, but that would be the other piece to that.
Okay, and then Brandon, you and I have talked about 537 signage, when they go up, when they come down, what's the standard for that? Is there going to be an opportunity for us to become involved in that? I mean, I just feel pretty strongly about complying with that particular part of the UDO.
And before you respond, Brandon, could I jump on there and just add some more context or color to that question? I met with Lena today in response to my concerns about the agenda item for Quick Trip, about the notice. And we've had it actually not too far in the past where maybe a sign disappeared or it blew over or we weren't sure if it happened. And I was noticing in code, there's the director does have some leeway or some I'm missing the word, the appropriate word. You have some discretion in being able to determine rules about how things are posted and their location. So I was wanting to add that on with Colonel Riley and ask if there's a process that we could start to maybe look at some of those rules for posting and standardize them a bit and make more semi-permanent posting a rule or something like that so that we can see these. We have a committed commission this year that visits sites very regularly, and we're looking for those signs. Number one, to tell us where the project is at, but yeah, that's the question.
We are, as part of the work plan, and I have offered to take this one on, looking at notice, appeal rights. And part of that, we'll be looking at best practices in the state. Lena's also going to be helping with this. So we'll take that forward. We can first talk to you in study session with some of our findings. This is probably give us a little time to pull some research together, get some ideas before you.
And I would add, I think you have inserted yourself into the discussion by letting applicants know if they don't do notice that can stand up, has a reasonable chance of standing up for 10 days, you know, that it creates uncertainty in their process. So, you know, I think that anecdotally helps in the interim as well, probably.
Thank you. And I had one last comment I wanted to make. I did read 177 pages. I'm learning, but I have to say tonight's staff presentations were exemplary because of the detail they went in and the fact that when I had a question, I didn't have to waffle. I felt much more comfortable making decisions tonight. So thank you to everybody in the Puzzle Palace at the AMC for all the great work they do.
Thank you, Commissioner Riley. Commissioner Hogan.
Quick question related to signs. Brendan, who actually posts the signs? Does the planner? Do they post the sign in the ground and take a photo of it?
The applicant posts the sign. We produce the sign. The applicant picks it up and posts the sign.
Okay, so they indeed are responsible for doing that.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments, questions, concerns? I think first I want to start with a huge thank you. You know, today was a little bit of a confusing day and the applications were spread out into the corners of Aurora, it felt like. Yeah. So we spent a lot of time visiting sites, but when I had issues or questions on the Quick Trip location, Stephen Rodriguez was available and spoke with me on the phone. I know that Commissioner Hogan was able to speak with Susan while she was on the site having some of the same similar questions. And I just wanted to give a huge heartfelt thanks to the staff for being available to us. That's sort of beyond the expectation. You guys have no clue when we're going to do site visits and whenever it works into our schedule. So I just wanted to thank you for your staff taking the time to respond to us and then follow up. Ani followed up with an email to Commissioner Hogan and I showing the pictures of the posting and things like that. So it's not lost on us. And I just wanted to convey that gratitude. And also a special thanks to Lena, who I didn't ever imagine that I would catch randomly on a Wednesday afternoon, an hour before the end of the day, who took my call and took the time to go through the code, the posting code with me and potential options for the meeting and walk through that with me. It's invaluable as chair to have you guys as that resource. It makes the job so much easier. So it's a huge heartfelt thank you to you guys. Okay.
Thank you.
Now that that's out of the way, we will go to our report by our planning division manager. Brandon, you're up.
Thank you, Chair Walz. Just one administrative decision, I believe, to report to you over the last couple of weeks. More activity in Stafford. Stafford Industrial is south of Colfax, west of Piccadilly. That area is picking up with the interchange being developed there, and then obviously Stephen D. Hogan below, and all that stuff functioning together. So that occurred. I'm pretty sure you'll ask me about Bubble Bath Car Wash, which was appealed. I will say it went to City Council. I think we should have limited comment about it because, you know, we're still trying to absorb where the next steps are. And so that's where I would like to leave that. That's the end of my report. Any questions?
Are you allowed to just announce the outcome of the appeal?
Yeah, I mean, that's public information. The conditional use was approved and the site plan was denied.
Thank you. Any questions for Brandon? Commissioner Hogan.
Brandon, related to the conversation even after that regarding interviews for planning commissioners, is it confirmed that Commissioner Bush is staying? That's number one.
I believe
is Commissioner Bush staying? Since I understand the council did not choose to interview him again, but he appointed is my question.
Stephanie, the floor is yours.
Yes, I
Yay!
I have the letter. I have the letter and everything.
Awesome.
Yeah, the clerk's office did send out notification that he was reappointed.
Awesome. And then my second question, Brandon, it's my understanding that council did select 3 of the applicants to actually interview for planning commission. And A is, can you confirm that? And B, did they give a date that they were going to interview these folks so that we can be fully staffed again?
I do not have access to that information right now. Stephanie, if you do, that's fine.
I do.
Yeah.
I took notes ahead of time.
Of course you did.
So, sorry. So 3 people will be interviewed for the open position on the planning commission. We have a Robin Becker, Allison Spink, and Stephen Elkins would be interviewed. And the interview date is on January 26th. And then the final appointment is for, the date is supposed to be on the 9th of February when the council decides of those 3.
Do you know, are those interviews conducted in study session or in full council?
I would have to look that up. I believe they're conducted in study session, but I would have to verify that.
Okay, further questions for Brandon? Okay, seeing none, Lena, you are up with our city attorney report.
Hello, commissioners. So not too much to report this evening, except for just let you all know that the state legislative session has officially started. So be ready to hear all about that as things come in. I'll try to keep you guys updated as bills are introduced and let you know as I hear about them as they relate to land use items. If you have any questions about any bills, please don't hesitate to reach out to me directly. And then the only other thing, and this is really for Chair Walls and Vice Chair Hogan, I think it was in December, I sent you all a draft of an update to the bylaws to bring it into compliance with the new resolution from council. And so just want to hop that up to the top of your inboxes and just let you know that I'm ready to bring that forward whenever you guys are ready for me to bring that to y'all to make a vote on that. So just let me know. And other than that, that's all I have for tonight.
Perfect. Thanks, Lena. I will get together with Commissioner Hogan and we will get either comments or suggestions for calendaring, and we'll get that on the way.
Fantastic.
Any questions for Lena?
It's not a question for Lena, but by way of reminder, it still can tie into legal. I think we have to do those financial disclosure forms. So if you haven't done it, you have to do it. Just FYI.
I will search my inbox. Thank you for that. I know it's somewhere in my inbox. And then Commissioner Riley, I wasn't sure if you got that or had any questions. We usually almost
Completed.
always have questions.
Completed and returned.
Oh, great. You're a student. Okay, I think that's it. One last thing. Oh, I just wanted to get some feedback before we close. How did everyone, what was your experience like with the timer feature within Teams today? Is that something that you feel works? Is that good?
Yeah.
Any staff feedback
Yeah,
on
that
that?
was cool.
Brandon?
That was perfect. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. All right, any final announcements before we adjourn? Seeing none, I move that we adjourn this evening's meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Colonel. Have a good evening, everyone.
All
Meeting
right,
adjourned.
bye-bye.
Great meeting. And,
Thank
and
you.
congratulations, Garrett.
Thank you, Melvin. Thank
Yes.
you for the
All right.
support. Yeah,
All right.
thanks.